Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Nation Building. On our program, we examine the political, social, and moral issues in the leadership of the Bahamas. On our program today, we're doing something different. We are Alive. And we'll introduce our exciting Alive guest right after this break.
Being awarded a free Aliv phone in the Making A's Pace campaign last year was one of the most exciting things that ever happened to me. I used my phone to play games, chat with friends over the summer break, and watch YouTube videos. Then I got an idea to start my own balloon business. Being able to use my own phone to start up my balloon business was so important to me. I used my phone to research prices and learn how to do balloon designs that I currently offer to my customers today. The internet speed was so good. Oh my gosh, there was no buffering and the videos were very clear. I am so grateful to Aliv for my new phone. Thanks Aliv. My name is Cara Knowles, owner of the Balloon Princess, and I believe in best.
It's the market for the entire family. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Bahamian owned and operated, Sawyer's is known for the lowest prices on meats, produce, fresh fruits, and vegetables. Check them out on Facebook and the Freeport News to find out all of their weekly specials and their monthly blowout sales. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Your grocery bill just got lower.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Hi, would you like to try our chunk noodles?
I only come in here for 2 items.
Okay, but it'll only take 1 second and it's so delicious. Just 1 second.
Yeah, everything tastes delicious. Wow, it's really good. Where do I find it in the store?
Right this way, let me do this. Okay. And you start talking about it. Right.
I'm glad to see you. Do the shuffle. It's been a while, do the shuffle.
I can't do shuffle, man.
You know what? You need this.
What's that?
Junkanoo Juice Medley.
That's it. Give me some more.
Come on, that's it. Jamaica Bahama Imports. Always got it.
Come on down and get your Junkanoo juice today.
Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock. We are here today and we're talking Aliv. Aliv, as you know, is our title sponsor. And so we're permitted to be biased today. We are talking today with Ms. Gravette Brown, who's the Chief Aliv Commercial Officer, and she's joined by Mr. Kendrick Delaney. And Mr. Delaney is the Senior Aliv Business Developer. That's a long, big title, Mr. Delaney. Welcome to Nation Building, Ms. Brown.
Welcome, thank you.
Mr. Delaney, welcome. Nice to have you. And I must say, as we get in earnest with our program today, that I am impressed, and so will you, with the fact that Aliv seem to have gone out and gotten the best, brightest Bahamian to do these jobs. I say that because of these bios that I've looked at. We'll start with the lady first, Ms. Gravette Brown. You have a very impressive resume. I noted you studied, you're a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania, where you got a bachelor's degree in international relations and French. So you speak, are you fluent in French?
I am fluent in French. Je parle français. Oui.
Oh boy, see, I can't respond. You also have a MBA in finance from Columbia University?
Yes, in New York.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so looking at your history though, what is equally impressive, not just the fact that you have these degrees and where you went to school, but you seem to be a unique Bahamian. You have traveled the world, you've worked, I notice, in New York, you have had some significant responsibilities. I'm going to give you a chance to tell the nation your qualification. You've been with J.P. Morgan in New York, Geneva, Switzerland. You've had significant posts there, and you've spent 12 years, I see, in International Finance Corporation. Why don't you tell the Bahamas, on your first appearance here with us, what qualifies you to be in such a significant post at Aliv?
I think what qualifies me, I think the critical thing that we look for at Aliv, and in this particular team, the commercial team, which is a hybrid of product development, business development, and traditional marketing, is we look for people who are both creative and analytical. And I think I'm able to bring both of those things. I think, you know, when you travel so much around the world and you're in different communities and societies and economies, you're forced to be creative because you have to always think of new ways to adapt to change. And it gave me an exposure and an ability to see things all over the world and throughout the continent of Africa, although I was stationed primarily in West Africa, in Europe, in New York, in Washington, D.C., and of course here in the Bahamas. So I've always seen different ways of doing things. Before coming to Aliv, I was a private equity investor, which means you play a very instrumental role in the operations and activities of businesses. So I think it's adaptability, it's natural creativity, it's ability to join all of that with business output and outcomes, and that's pretty much, I think, what's helped me get to where I am.
I won't let you off the hook so easy, and I tell you why. Your resume, you are doing injustice to your bio. For the sake of viewers watching across the country,
Okay.
and especially young Bahamians who are ambitious and wanting to be the best, share a little about, walk us through that journey after university, and as best as you can, how you move, because the process, I think, is very important. Of the two major entities that I saw, you've had the opportunity internationally to serve in. So just
Right.
tell us a little about skills and how you managed to go to the top.
Sure. Well, I think when I began my career after graduating from Penn, I went immediately into, I guess I would say, business process hybrid role finance with JP Morgan in New York on Wall Street. And I just wanted to get some core business skills. I had an interest in emerging markets, but I knew that I wanted to just work in kind of like typical, finance structure Wall Street first, and so I did that. After about a year there, I felt like I wanted to see more, I wanted to see the world, and I just started asking around, are there opportunities to move abroad?
In the company?
In the company.
In JP Morgan.
And I was doing well, and I think whenever you're doing well, people generally look, I've been fortunate, I found that people give you opportunities to continue to excel, or certainly I had that opportunity. And there was a posting in Switzerland, and that worked because, as you alluded to, I had a French degree, and I spoke French fluently. So
in essence, your gift seemed to have made room for you.
exactly. And this is the point about being prepared, right?
Preparation.
Preparation
Plus opportunity.
Plus opportunity
Equals success.
success. And just combined with the belief that you can do it. And nobody ever told me I couldn't go to Europe or I shouldn't work in French or anything like that. And I just thought I could do it, and I kind of put it out there into the universe. And we all have different ways of saying it, and I believe. So I ended up spending 3.5 years based in Geneva, working and transacting in French, but also working across Europe. So I worked a lot in Paris, I worked a lot in London for the company. And after that, I thought, okay, I've had my kind of traditional finance, blue chip, international experience. I went back to business school, I applied, I was accepted to Columbia and Kellogg in Illinois. I decided to go to Columbia because it's New York and I love New York City. And I spent 2 years at Columbia, just preparing my MBA. And I knew I wanted to work in emerging markets. I knew I wanted to have the opportunity to see a lot of things. I love to travel. I just wanted to see as much of the world as possible. And I got this opportunity with the World Bank. So it's the International Finance Corporation, which is a private sector arm of the bank, which is a really unique sort of job because you kind of learn how to do everything, So yeah, I guess my functional learning has been in finance. But I always like to tell people, I always thought I'd be an artist or a writer when I was in high school, and my parents then told me, we're not independently wealthy, you will have to get a job afterwards.
At some point.
So think about that, think about that. And luckily I had these two kind of brains, I had both my right and left brain working. I was always a creative person. I was always an analytical person. I was really able to put that together. And I would say at the IFC, I started in DC for 3.5 years. And then again, I got that bug. I'd done a few deals in West Africa. I think, lots of people have this, you want to spend some
I'm
time
sure
on the
Aliv is
continent.
hoping you don't get any more of those bugs, but keep going.
And so I went, and I had a tremendous experience. I was in Senegal for 2 years, leading our efforts, and and just like kind of deal execution there. I got several promotions, made a bit of a name for myself, and I think just also applying this, seeing opportunities where others weren't able to see them, and I think that's the classic skill that I think we deploy here at Aliv, and that I would encourage, if this is for my fellow Bahamians,
Absolutely.
I would encourage people to, this is a skill you can't touch, the ability to see opportunities where others can't and to execute on them. And I would say that's what helped me make my career. I spent my last 4 years in Lagos in Nigeria, and then they wanted me to ship out again to Istanbul or Turkey or somewhere else, or come back to DC, and I just thought, well, I want to have a sabbatical, so I planned to come back to the Bahamas for maybe a year or so, take a sabbatical. I've been at the bank for 10 years, and do a bit of this or that, and I ended up staying. I did a short consultancy with Aliv. They asked me to stay. I mean, I think they saw what I could do, what I could bring. I'd also had an interest in moving into a company, because when you're an investor, you're kind of involved but not directly responsible. And Damien, the CEO, and I sat down and we kind of crafted out this role and this evolution for me. And I thought that it was the right move at this time. I was ready to be home. The Bahamas has always been my home, no matter how far I've roamed. I always came back home often. And it just felt like the right time to make this move. And Aliv has presented a tremendously fulfilling and exciting opportunity.
And I want to, just before I get to Kendrick, who's biting at the bit, you're modest, I detect, in your sharing your history, and certainly the viewers will make what they make of it, but they can clearly see that you've applied yourself with significant discipline. And for those of us who have the privilege of speaking to the country weekly, want to see more of that shared with our country, because
Sure.
there are too many young Bahamians that have gone off to school that is making America great.
Yeah.
Some will say again. But we want the Bahamas to be great.
Right.
And so I am a champion for seeing more of your kind back home in some capacity in our country, helping to uplift the nation and our people. And which brings me to Mr. Kendrick Delaney, Jr.
Yes.
You also have an impressive resume, and so because Gravette's resume is so amazing and so awesome, we don't want to leave you out. You have certainly had the wonderful opportunity to be abroad. I noted that you graduated from Johnson & Wales University with a BS in entrepreneurship and an MBA as well in international trade. And you've also worked overseas. So I want to give you an opportunity to share your own story. I think it is something that Aliv would be proud to know that you people represent their company.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a lot of Gravette and my story is very similar. I started my career in the Bahamas before leaving as a chef, to be honest.
A chef?
Yeah. I was a graduate of the Hospitality and Training College here at the time. So, I really was always into creative as well. Like, it was my passion to be into arts and whatnot. But there was this nagging kind of like analytical ability that I had as well. So when I went off to school, thinking that, rather than continue with culinary, maybe I can transform, the food and beverage world by business. And I kind of picked up an entrepreneurship degree. And that, allowed me to really practice a lot of the things that I've learned today, right? So I kind of ended up into database design, which is a very kind of offshoot from culinary. But this is the part about being creative, is that you solve problems that you might not necessarily see, others can't see a solution to, right? So it's just a knack that happened. And the first job I got was ability to kind of build an applications database for the same university, where 4 different campuses could kind of process their applications online.
I found that interesting. We're going to jump right into your story when we come back, but we've run right over, so we have to take this break. You're watching Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock. Right back after these messages.
Being awarded a free Aliv phone in the Making A's Pays campaign last year was one of the most exciting things that ever happened to me. I used my phone to play games, chat with friends over the summer break, and watch YouTube videos. Then I got an idea to start my own balloon business. Being able to use my own phone to start up my balloon business was so important to me. I used my phone to research prices and learn how to do balloon designs that I currently offer to my customers today. The internet speed was so good. Oh my gosh, there was no buffering and the videos were very clear. I am so grateful to Aliv for my new phone. Thanks Aliv. My name is Cara Knowles, owner of the Balloon Princess, and I believe in best.
It's the market for the entire family. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Bahamian owned and operated, Sawyer's is known for the lowest prices on meats, produce, fresh fruits, and vegetables. Check them out on Facebook and the Freeport News to find out all of their weekly specials and their monthly blowout sales. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Your grocery bill just got lower.
Hello, I'm Wendell Jones, and every time I sit down and I watch JCN television, I drink the Jamaica Bahama food juice. It's so pleasing to the palate.
I've been cooking Bahamian dishes for generations. I now use Jamaica Bahamas product. The rice is very fluffy, very tasty, and good eating. Jamaica Bahama product is simply the best.
As an insurance agent, my life is go, go, go. But whenever I need a refreshing break, it's Jamaica Bahamas Island Mixed Fruit Drink. Good.
Hi, I'm Debbie Bartlett from GEMS 105.9 FM. The effect that Island Junkanoo Juice Medley has on me is exhilarating.
Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock. I almost said welcome back to Alive. That's how much alive I am. But you're watching Nation Building, and we're here today. We're talking Alive. We're with Ms. Gravette Brown. She is the Chief Alive Commercial Officer, and Mr. Kendrick Delaney, Jr. He's the Senior Alive Business Developer. And as you tell your story, I wanted you to segue into saying what your role is and continue that story. Absolutely. As Chief Business Developer.
So at Aliv, primarily I'm responsible for a lot of the product development with a lot of focus on digital services specifically. And what that means is how do we solve everyday problems with technology and create value for the Bahamas and the world. You know, we're really hoping to develop technologies that kind of cross over. So back in college, you know, having worked with technologies that, you know, like databases and whatnot allowed me to kind of connect some of the dots and see that, you know, these are some of the same applications that we could use here in the Bahamas. So at Aliv, it's really a lot of business planning, scoping out how do we make the most sense of this, how do we roll this out, who's our target audience. So a lot of, you know, a lot of hands-on business analysis to kind of get these products to market. Back to, you know, my journey out of college, I kind of did a study abroad in France for a short time. And just seeing how the different world works, you know, even something as simple as the fact that they had an underground transportation system blew my mind. I didn't, you know, coming from the Bahamas, you never really see those things. And so I got the bug, the travel bug as well. And since then, I've worked in Singapore and as well as Toronto, moving around, doing some of the similar work, you know, using technology to find ways to make things more efficient or to make, you know, enable people to move a lot faster in business.
You know, I love both of you, and I'm not only saying that because you serve at Aliv and you're a sponsor us, and so I'm saying that because I'm a believer in Aliv. My company that I have that pays my bills, we have, shortly after Aliv came on stream and I was exposed to your CEO and so forth, we started to get, we got all our senior managers to have Aliv phones. I've changed out some of our equipment at home because of the internet, that box that you all provide.
Yeah, the CP, the MiFi.
Right. So, I find the company so innovative and so sexy in compared to, I won't call your competitor's name, but compared to the other guys, that I'm a believer, and I talk to my staff as well. I hardly know anyone today who don't have an Aliv device, even if they have, some may have other devices as well. And so I figure your jobs are really easy, is it?
I mean, it's easy in that, what's easy about it is that it's fun. And I think for myself and for my team, and I have a tremendous team, a great team, I just say, you know, what we want to do is we want to make sure that every day we come to work and we get to do something cool, you know, and we get, and I find my principal job is just kind of trying to pave the way so that we can clear the brush so that we can do cool and innovative things. And that's really what motivates us, because I have had a lot of experience. I have been all around the world. I've, you know, been kind of everywhere. So this is, and so I'm here really, and why I decided to come and stay, and I'm sure Kendrick will have to say the same thing, because this was a unique opportunity to create and to do something, you know, important on a stage that's smaller and more accessible than saying, you know, even being in New York or, you know, being anywhere else. Like, we really have the opportunity to transform the way, you know, the way we look at things, the way we do things, and to push the country and nation forward. And that's certainly a very big impetus for me. And I think our whole team, like, we all kind of drink the Kool-Aid on that, you know. We really do feel that, like, what we're doing is really about improvement, you know, and pushing things forward. So yeah, I mean, our first foray as Aliv, as a company, was like, you know, pushing out, you know, great devices and great plans and giving people access to the data. But once we did that, we always knew the second question was going to be, what do they do with this data? It's not just about Snapchatting and Facebooking and whatever else. It's about actually using it to improve and transform your life, your business, everything. And we have this tremendous infrastructure in the Bahamas, and we need to be able to use it. So we just say apps, but we don't realize apps are businesses. And so what we're really creating here, and some of the things we'll talk about later in the program, are business opportunities using technology. And when we talk about solving problems, you know, because that is what we do. We solve problems. We creatively solve problems. We're also showing people how you can integrate that into your own life and get beyond the traditional, because with technology, size doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter that we're just a little small country of, you know, 400,000, 450,000 people, you know, off the southern coast of Miami. Once you are smart and you're trying to be excellent, and, you know, you're trying to be best, and that's why this believe in best also underpins everything we do. You can do and achieve anything. You can go all over the world, as we have, but you can also stay here, travel, visit, maybe not stay away as long as we have, and also kind of bring the world to you.
Do you really see the value, both of you, of the potential impact that lives such as yours can have on our population, not just as representatives of Aliv, causing people to come alive with your products, but to set an example and a standard? You talked about, in my words, raising the bar. Have you come to grips with the potential that you have at your disposal?
I'll just say one thing quickly. I think that, you know, when you talk about example setting, and I know you referred to me as being modest before, I think it's only because, you know, we're all human beings and we're all selfish, right? And we all think about other people. We all think about other people in reference to ourselves. So I think, if anything, it's really showing people that they too, so instead of just saying like, oh, I'm this and I did that and I'm so great and I'm so accomplished, it's rather saying, you know, you too can achieve anything you want to do. Because I didn't get here, and I'm sure Kendrick will say the same story. I mean, my life could have been dramatically, completely different. I could have taken the road more traveled, you know, but I had some thoughts and I had some ideas, and I just thought, oh, why not? Why not do it? You know, and I think and I think if we can encourage people to just think for themselves how they can be great, and my team knows, like, I have like a little saying, you know, when we're doing things, I'm going to go forth and be great, you know. If you can encourage people to think that you too can be great, don't look at me and my greatness, but think about how you can translate that greatness into yourself. You know, that's my view.
Yeah, I also think part of it is finding your tribe, right? So, like, you know, when I first moved back to the Bahamas, just having certain conversations and understanding that, you know, you mentioned that a lot of people live overseas and they kind of keep that competency overseas, right? But when you come back to the Bahamas, a lot of people, especially at Aliv, you know, are having these conversations about how do we step outside of the business as usual? How do we invent things and create and be thought leaders? And when you find that tribe, it's really an exciting feeling. I feel like that's what Aliv offers. You know, you can come there and say that, hey guys, let's not do it this way. Is there not an opportunity? I know we will hit roadblocks, we'll hit, you know, like some challenges, but how do we work together? And Gravette and I, you know, with our team all together, we really spend a lot of time on figuring out how to go over a mountain, how to go under it, how to go around. And at the end of the day, that's what you see when we deliver the products at Aliv.
You seem to allude, Kendrick, to an environment. You are in an environment that is seemingly cultivating greatness, is it?
That's our believe in best, yes.
Yeah, believe in best and
It's
be
not just
great.
a slogan.
No, no.
You as a male, as a Bahamian man, even more powerfully represent what our country needs, which is a standard for young men to see and to aspire to. What do you say to, as you promote your company today and your country, what do you say to young Bahamians about one? You talked about your journey, of course, but what in a nutshell would you say to them that was the impetus of your inspiration and also what is keeping you excited at Aliv and that would challenge them too?
Yeah, this might seem a bit cliche, but I think that one of the biggest things that led to my success, you know, I'm the oldest son, first of all. So that's, you know, automatically I was a little bit more competitive, a bit more ambitious, but I also had parents who spent a lot of time letting me believe that I was great. You know, like I had the ability to kind of change things or affect things. And so, you know, a big part of that I do think happens at home in the Bahamas. We need to spend a lot more time, like, you know, investing in kids and making sure that they understand that at that early age that they have a lot of potential to make change. So for me, that was part of it. But even till today, as Gravette mentioned, if you have an idea, if you have a concept, you know, find your tribe, come to Aliv, talk to people. If it's technology, you know, Aliv wants to create more homegrown technology. We want the Bahamas to be out there, you know, playing in the same field as everybody else. So maybe you have a concept or an idea that you want to explore a little further. Or, you know, there's a few incubation hubs around. There's also shared working spaces that where Aliv is also thinking about helping to focus in on so that we could provide this kind of a platform for the Bahamas.
There's another point I want to have you share on, and we're going to get into the meat of a discussion today on the topic, but Aliv seem to be deliberate about Bahamianizing its team. And I noted in our first interview with Damien how he talked about a plan 2 years ago, a plan of gradually building, developing with the Bahamian spirit, with the Bahamian minds. He talked about the team, he called you out, people like Dwayne Davis and others. And I'm seeing it, I've been watching, I've been paying attention, and I've seen the transition occurring. And so I want you to share with the nation, because it's important, it's a Bahamian company, they're stakeholders, as Bahamians, we're the major stakeholders in our government in Aliv. And so I want you to share about what's happening in the structure of the company as it, as was told to me earlier, would have been transitioning to a full Bahamian team. What's happening in that area, organizationally?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can, I mean, I'll use myself as an example in that case. I mean,
where you started and so forth in both.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, when I came in, as I said, I didn't plan to stay in the Bahamas. I just planned to come and spend a bit of time, and I've met a few of the principals, you know, Cable Bahamas and so, and saw my background. I came in to help with the fundraising, and within pretty much a month, you know, Damien was like, you know, do you want, you know, can you stay? And I hemmed and hawed because I had a big decision to make. You know, it meant I had to formally resign from the World Bank, which is a prestigious opportunity, you know, so I had to really think about it. And but I came in first to kind of set up our pure commercial products team, because as you can imagine, in a startup, like we just started, from scratch. It was just all systems go. I did the fundraising because that was the biggest thing at that time, so I led that initiative. We raised $50 million. We outperformed, you know, wrote the investment memo. This is like my bread and butter stuff, so I knew how to do that, speaking to bankers, etc.
So I can't let you go. Your gift keeps coming up, and so we gotta share it. You came in, did the fundraising. What you are privy to or comfortable with sharing about how did you, as a bright young Bahamian, go out and raise this $50 million, whatever it is that you think would be
Yeah, well, I mean, I
helpful
used to be
info.
on the other side of the table, right? Like evaluating companies and deciding, in most cases, my equity, deciding whether, you know, when I left Lagos, I was a principal investment officer. I ran our entire, you know, Lagos country office for manufacturing services. I had a book of $250 million investment a year that I was responsible for, you know, and I also covered a lot of Africa. So I had a lot of responsibility. I was doing big deals. So
So you knew how to sell.
yeah, because I was a buyer previously, you know, and I knew what information was important to investors, whether they be equity or lenders. I knew what I would want to see if I was on the other side of the table, as I'd often been. But we didn't have many folks. I mean, we literally started off with, like, you know, 6 people around a conference room table as the building was being built around us. So and it's a startup, and it was exciting because I was used to having like a big team, you know, to do things for me.
It was a challenge, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I thought of it in a different way. I thought of it, and we were just talking about this on the ride over. I thought it's good to like sharpen your skills and sometimes go back to the things that like you used to do that you have analysts or other people to do before, just to stay current. I think if you're going to grow, if you're going to be great, you can't like rest on your laurels. You can't say, oh, now I'm the big boss and, you know, I'm just going to be here.
I would never go back to that.
And I won't go back to that. So yeah, I had to roll up my sleeves. I mean, I built the financial model because we don't have a lot of that expertise here, like corporate finance expertise. And we certainly didn't have much at Aliv. So did that, writing the investment memo, getting it out, and then doing the road shows, going out to investors, answering the hard questions, and at the same time rapidly learning the telecom business, which was an industry that I had not been exposed to before. But because I was also an investor and I was used to, you know, jumping around, 1-minute hotels, the next minute commercial real estate or petrochemicals, whatever, I also knew very quickly how to quickly identify what are the drivers of the business, how it runs, how it needs to run to identify success. So I did that, and it was all hands on deck, you know, so you end up doing a lot of things. And I just ended up naturally, because I'm a naturally curious person and like to, you know, just doing a lot of things. And Damien, you know, within like a month or two, he was like, okay, we're going to need help setting up our commercial team and getting some more process here. Can you do that from scratch? And so I did it from scratch, you know, and I did that for about a year. And then in March of this year, when Johnny began his transition out, I took on also the marketing team, which just created a really great group, because normally in large organizations, all of these teams are separated. So it's a lot to manage, but it actually makes sense.
It flows better.
It flows a lot better. Yeah,
we
also, one of the first things I did when I was in commercial strategy was we built out a data warehouse, a very sophisticated data platform that we use now for our MIS. I hired that was like kind of pretty much like week 2, because I just saw like we needed it. And so we have great data analytics. We have great product developers. Kendrick is a senior member of that products team. We also do a lot of business development with partnerships and things like that. And then we have a fantastic production, content, branding team. And so all of that. So I don't want to reveal too many keys to the kingdom, but when you talk about Bahamianization, so that's a pretty big portfolio, you know? I mean, that's kind of the crux of the company.
And before we go back to Kendrick, so he can share his feel on that, want last of all on that topic for you to share, if you will, the key players that has been assembled at this point to manage to what we experience as consumers now, this Aliv machine. What are some of the key players?
Right. So I mean, I think so. Obviously, you've met Dwayne Davis, who's our director of IT, who manages all of our, you know, our kind of IT infrastructure, a lot of the vendor management, all of the services and systems that we use that are essential. You know, the underpinnings of our network. So that's IT. Sales is still, we've included a general manager structure, so we have a few prominent Bahamians placed there. Patrice Thompson, who's the GM for the largest business group in the Bahamas, which is what we call Central, which is Nassau, Eleuthera, Abaco, so she runs that under Alan Bates, who's the VP, but you know, that's kind of the crux of the business there. Our former CTO, Stephen Karan, has taken on a larger kind of group-wide responsibility across Rev and some of our other associated companies. So now that engineering team is primarily being headed up by Tracy Boucher. However, and then of course there's me. I mean, so every campaign you see comes out of my team. Every product, every tactical promotion, all of the advertising campaigns, like, you know, what we decide to sell, when we decide to sell it, how we sell it, the partnerships that you see us doing, all of our digital services platform. That is my team.
Well,
That's me and my group.
seeing that you won't do it, let me just blow your trumpet. You're doing an awesome job, a great job. Kendrick, let's talk a little about your...
Yeah, I mean, just going back to this idea about, the team being Bahamian and, it's evolving. I've worked overseas too, so I do think that there's a lot of contribution for having expats on your team, because it's, something happens kind of secretly, nobody knows it, nobody's tracking it, but this osmosis of information is kind of moving from one to the next, and also vice versa. It's very difficult to be an expat in a new country because you're also learning the community. But at Aliv, what is great, to talk about the Bahamian team is, in general, Bahamians are very creative people.
Absolutely.
We can figure out our way around things, solve problems, and we do it all day, every day. So that gives Aliv a special ability to be, because we are new to the market, but moving so fast, we're agile. We can move as quickly as we need to move. We can be smart. We can get people in the room together, speak the same language, and move as fast as possible with that. Yeah. So this is all some of the key, some of the competitive advantages we have as an organization, and we're using it every day.
I'm wondering if you guys are indoctrinated with this stuff. You just spit it out, so...
Oh, no, I mean, we make decisions right here. There's no headquarters to go back to. There's no other country.
Bureaucracy is not an issue.
Yeah, no, we want to do something. We want to change a format. We want to change a thing. We get around. We look at the data. This is not working. Okay, we're going to change it. And I will say, because we've both been expats, so and I think it's unique that we both were outside and we came inside, and I think that's also helpful in terms of your vision, what you see, what you think can be done. And I have to give also kudos, to Damien as our CEO, who's literally, especially for me, because as these guys, I have like an idea a minute, of what we can do, and he has certainly given me and given us the platform to do that, and he definitely does it because I'm sensible and we do things in a systematic way. But we have had the chance as a result to do some really innovative things, to push forward some really, I think, groundbreaking ideas. And I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to leadership. We're architecting it out of the team, but we wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have his support and his buy-in to just say, okay, Gravette, I trust you. Make sure, it makes sense, but go out and do it. And so very, I think very grateful for that.
Before I get in trouble with a lot of people give me a lot of questions, but I'm going to just throw this one in before we go to the break, and that is, how does Aliv, where y'all getting, to put it in a colloquial term, where y'all getting all this money from? You seem to be everywhere, sponsoring everything. Talk a little bit, whatever you're at liberty to, about how Aliv is just so involved and it's costing you to be in all these media circles. How do you do that?
I would say that we use money very strategically, and that's really all I can say.
That's all you can say.
So we don't waste money, but we spend money very well, and we work very well. We spend a lot of time developing partnerships that work for us, and we're able to do that, I think, because we are very invested in the win-win.
Right. And I want you to know, this is a genuine question that came from a lot of people, because we post when we're having guests, and it's something I've thought about in the past, but people reflected that you guys really are everywhere. So with what you just said, I count it a privilege that NationBuilding is chosen by you guys. I guess we have some value to you, for you to invest in us, and for all the other outlets that you do, but you do a great job in reaching, and it looks much more impressive maybe than your spending, but it is impressive. You're watching NationBuilding. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock. Right back after this.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Hi, would you like to try our chunk noodles?
I only come in here for 2 items.
Okay, but it'll only take 1 second, and it's so delicious. Just 1 second.
Yeah, everything tastes delicious. Wow, it's really good. Where do I find it in the store?
Right this way, let me show you. Okay. Thanks.
I'm glad to see you. Do the shuffle. It's been a while, do the shuffle.
I can't do the shuffle, man.
You know what? You need this.
What's that?
Junkanoo Juice Medley.
That's it. Give me some more.
Come on, that's it. Jamaica Bahama Imports. Always got it.
Come on down and get your Junkanoo juice today.
Who said you can't get great quality products at an affordable price? If you want the best quality food products at the most affordable prices, you must pick up the Jamaica Bahama brand of fine quality products at your favorite food store. Products like Jamaica Bahama Coconut Water, the most healthy and refreshing drink on the market. Jamaica Bahama Fruit Punch, the only fruit punch in the Bahamas made from real fruit. Jamaica Bahama Coconut Milk, green pigeon peas with coconut milk, condensed milk, kidney beans with coconut milk, corned beef, green pigeon peas, mackerel, and corn. Jamaica Bahama's fine line of products is available at all your favorite food stores and convenience stores nationwide. Telephone 351-8282 in Freeport and 341-4091 in Nassau.
I don't wanna wait. No, no, I don't wanna wait.
Being awarded a free iPhone in the Making A's Pays campaign last year was one of the most exciting things that ever happened to me. I used my phone to play games, chat with friends over the summer break, and watch YouTube videos. Then I got an idea to start my own balloon business. Being able to use my own phone to start up my balloon business was so important to me. I used my phone to research prices and learn how to do balloon designs that I currently offer to my customers today. The internet speed was so good. Oh my gosh, there was no buffering and the videos were very clear. I am so grateful to Aliv for my new phone. Thanks, Aliv. My name is Cara Knowles, owner of the Balloon Princess, and I believe in best.
Welcome back to Nation Building. I'm your host, Winston Pinnock, and today we are talking Aliv. We're here with two of the executives from Aliv, and let us just dive right in, Gravette and Kendrick, because time is of the essence. How do you measure the growth of Aliv since its inception, quickly? How long has it been since the company's first launch?
We got the license July 1, 2016. So we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, but we only started trading because remember that was the year of Hurricane Matthew.
Right.
So we only started trading at the end of November, trading formally of that year.
So you're not really 2 years old yet.
It's like been just a little over 18 months.
What is the secret to revolutionizing the country's telecommunications in this short period of time?
I think we brought value is important to us. I mean, we look at value in our partnerships and our advertising and everything, and I think we brought Bahamians value. And I think it took a little bit of time for them to really believe the value that we were bringing, but now we have, and we take that value and that credibility like seriously, you know. So we're not prepared to lose that, and we just. I think we just keep trying. We are motivated by what does the customer want and need, and how can we provide a legitimately great experience for every customer. So we do not do not believe in gimmickry, you know, and we do not believe in, saying something and giving
and taking
right and taking another. We just try to be clear and transparent, and that was our business model. We're just going to be clear and transparent, say what we're doing, do what we're doing, and people will come around with us. And what we found now is that we've built up like a base of I don't want to say fans, but subscribers who are very loyal to our brand because they see the value of what we're doing. We're not just here for the photo op. If we say we're going to invest in you, we just did this really impactful back to school initiative this year. We decided we wanted to do something different. I just said to the team, I said, I just want to do something with meaning. We can do the big mass, giveaways, but let's try and find something with meaning. And we and we've done that, and we went around and we found 10 different families across the length and breadth of the Bahamas. We went to all of the major islands, to really disadvantaged communities here in New Providence, and we found families with stories who had real needs, and we tried to give them a bit more. And that's just a testimony for how we try to do things.
I was going to ask both of you earlier. I accuse you of being like a choir. You both seem to have a spiritual thing going on in terms of what you're presenting. Are you both believers, Christians? What is it that drives you from a spiritual point of view? Not to put you on the spot, but I can't help it because every sentence I hear it coming out, it seems to be driven. There seems to be more than just let's do business. There seems to be a core value that you're driving. Explain that to the public.
I think that, you know, part of what you mentioned earlier about being everywhere, you know, we made a lot of promises to the Bahamas. And so working in an environment where there is this synergy, where there is this feeling that we have to deliver on those promises is something that we're talking about all the time in Aliv, right? So product development for us starts really in that space where, you know, how do we solve a problem? We're not trying to push something on the Bahamian public that is something we think that they need. It's really start from, you know, what is out there? How can we serve the Bahamas? How can we make a better impact? And I think that's where we start a lot of our product development. I don't know if you...
And I guess that does have a base perhaps in, you know, in Christianity. Yes, I mean, I'm a Christian. I don't know if I can say I'm a, you know,
you don't have to qualify that.
Yeah,
I don't want to put you on the spot. I simply was pointing out the fact that as you share your efforts, there are some core Christian values in those that you talked about going into communities. You could do PR. I mean, you could do the most effective public relations without having to go into an area where there may be disadvantaged or impoverished people or needy people and provide for them. It takes more than just being a great PR person, you must admit, Kendrick, to do that.
No, but I think it comes from that experience. I mean, certainly from my experience working in emerging markets, working with the bank, which is all about, you know, triple bottom line, that you can have social good and economic profit. And I believe that, and I just believe even if you were going to strip it out from a business, when you do good for people, I guess it's just a tenet. Yes, it is a personal philosophy. You know, a rising tide lifts all boats. My winning doesn't mean that you're losing, and we can structure things where everybody wins. And at the end of the day for business, I think we see more and more around the world with companies that those are the businesses that last. And that's what you want to do when you wake up because we all have choices. And I think certainly I have a lot of choices. I don't have to be here. Kendrick doesn't have to be here. So you're coming here, you want to do something different. I'm not here interested in defrauding people and doing things. I can go anywhere over the world. If I wanted to go be a corporate raider, I can just go back, get a job on Wall Street and do that. So you're not just, so it's not the sole motivation.
And it's not just obviously about money, obviously.
No, for me too, it's the same thing. It's like when you move back to the Bahamas, you want to find ways to push the needle forward, however that might be. You know, so in work, coming there and knowing that you can have some impact, make some change, and kind of pave the way for somebody new. That's really what it's about for me as well.
And don't get us wrong, we want to win, and we are going to win.
We see that. That's obvious.
I mean, it doesn't take away that edge, you know, but you can do it in a different way.
And so I had questions I keep skipping because you're answering them before. So I guess it's I need not ask this. It's obvious that Aliv is being an excellent corporate citizen, and even more than that, it's beyond just being a good marketer and promoter. We want to talk a little about this whole concept of Aliv innovation agenda. Share with the Bahamian people, what really is this innovation agenda?
Okay, I'm going to head off and I'm going to hand over to Kendrick, who's really been driving it forward. I actually interviewed with Damien like way back in March of 2016. I think sometimes he said it was the first person he interviewed. And he asked me what I thought about telecom. And I was like, yeah, it has to be. The market is moving towards technology and apps and things like that. And that has to be a part of, you know, we can't just be restricted by this kind of old way of thinking about businesses. We have to think what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years. So he's like, okay, cool, yeah, got it. And, you know, it was always in the back of our minds, like this is something we want to do, but, you know, we obviously had to get, you know, basic things up first. So at the end of 2000, towards the end of 2017, we began to have a bit, you know, once we had some basic fundamentals in the business setup, we began to really think more seriously about what our strategy was and how we could support businesses through technology and how we could develop certain tools. And we came up with a few tools. We started prototyping them up. And then I ran into a resourcing issue. And so I went out looking for, you know, folks who could help me carry this agenda forward. And I interviewed Kendrick, and I think we made a decision in a very short period of time because he just, I mean, you just know it. You know when you're meeting people, it's about getting the right resources, like, you know, who can get it and kind of take it forward and make it happen. And he was one of those folks. And I would say that, you know, he started in January, and he has just made like a tremendous impact in taking these things that, you know, they were very nascent, very early stage, and just kind of transforming what we're doing. And I don't want to steal any of his thunder, so.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to, you know, Gravette, when we spoke, she mentioned she has a million ideas, and they're all at one time too.
A million a minute.
Yeah. And what's great about that is that if you could somehow synthesize from that or connect the dots, then you can see something like what is our digital services ecosystem right now, which is an arena where we can kind of focus on technologies that we're no longer just selling eggs, for example, as an analogy. We're actually figuring out how to create the best omelet station in China and let the eggs come to us or whatever. So we're really improving upon all of these models while still selling traditional telecom products. One of the ones that, you know, kind of marries very well with our social connections in the Bahamas is Aliv Discover, which is an app that's recently been launched, but it allows us to bring destinations to life. Destinations that look a lot like the Bahamas. You know, we have a large archipelago here. So that's something that's a unique challenge on how to get visitors and even locals to learn about all of these different sites. You know, what is Samile Butler all about? You know, you can read it on Wikipedia and this place and that. But what this app does is, you know, partner with the right people like AMMC,
National Art Gallery, Bahamas National Trust.
And so we get authentic Bahamian information, and then we put this into a technology that actually augments these locations and these sites into 2D animations. And when you scan any map that we provide, Aliv Maps, these sites pop up in 3D, and you can rotate them, you can learn more about them, you could actually figure out, hey, how long is it from where I'm at? How can I walk there? If you're a tourist and you're at the wharf and you wanted to make a few steps over there. So, you know, I love the idea that we're bringing the Bahamas to life. You know, the idea that
you're shrinking it.
Yeah. And we're democratizing
and growing
all
it
of
at the
this.
same time.
At the same time.
So it's a really great opportunity. At the same time, we're giving a platform to places like Pompeii Museum, to NAGB, the National Art Gallery, where before, you know, persons had to learn or bump into them, you know, on all the kind of different platforms. Whereas now, in one space, you can kind of learn about all of these places and find your way and make a trek to these places.
How are you driving traffic to discover?
Yeah, I think, you know, we're kind of in a beta stage, but we have rolled it out. So we have, I think some of that we want to keep in the can a little bit.
Okay.
You know, but I will say that we have some very compelling strategies to do so. So, yeah.
And if anybody's interested in partnering too, you know, you can always reach out to us at Aliv. We're happy to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, but it's been, I think people get it, and it's been pretty well received.
Is there any major breaking stuff as we get ready to wrap up here that you want to share with the country? You're talking to a TV audience that, you know, what should they look for? Your consumers that you've done such a great job in capturing. What is Aliv? And go ahead and break news if you want to. What is Aliv getting ready to do, or is in the process of doing that was going to excite your consumers?
You're going to see a lot more on this digital services and innovation front. We think this is a big part of our value add. We have Discover, as we talked. We also have very interesting, you know, kind of fundraising development that we're working on. We have a lot of content plays that we're making, and sorry if I'm being a bit coy about some of this. One of the things we launched earlier this year that we're pushing out a lot more is a loyalty rewards program just for being our customer. It's called The List. It's in your app currently. Just click on it. You're probably already platinum, at least gold, and you can get great discounts from all of these vendors.
Do you have to register?
You don't have to do anything. It's just there. You get like real discounts, Wild Time, Pink Octopus, Doctors Hospital just came on and joined. We have Valentine's Harbor Marina giving like great weekend deals, packages, you know, in Harbor Island. We have great companies in the Bahamas who are on there. We have this Discover app that is it's really revolutionary and groundbreaking. We will leave one with you so you can play around with it a little bit. I think as soon as you use it, you'll get it, and you'll see all the pathways to market.
Wonderful.
And so I think just continue to watch this space. I mean, and as Kendrick said, it's an invitation. We are here. We are rolling this out in a much bigger platform. The most important thing I want to say is that this is a Bahamian initiative. All of these things, every app we've discussed here, we designed, created, conceived of here within this team. We have a brilliant software technologist consultant who works with us. She is also Bahamian. And this thought that, you know, you have to go overseas or somebody has to come and drop something, we've constructed all of this right here on site in Aliv at Holy Cross, you know, and we've built it out. And these are Bahamians, young Bahamian professionals. These are, you know, who are scoping this out, designing it, promoting it, advertising it, working it, and that's what I am personally so proud to be a part of.
Kendrick, your closing thoughts.
I just want to just reiterate the List app. I think that is something that's really one of the best secrets at Aliv, and we want everybody to know about it. What I love about it is it's so simple. It's really already, if you're having a Aliv phone, it's already on your phone. You just go in, tap the List under your My Aliv app, and you can see all of these coupons that are already, you know, just generated for you. So there's no extra work. You just be rewarded.
Folks, you just listened to the Bahamas' best telecommunications representatives here on Nation Building. Stay tuned for next week's edition of Nation Building, when we'll bring you another exciting and informative and educational program, as we always do. And have a great week, as always.
Being awarded a free Aliv phone in the Making A's Pays campaign last year was one of the most exciting things that ever happened to me. I used my phone to play games, chat with friends over the summer break, and watch YouTube videos. Then I got an idea to start my own balloon business. Being able to use my own phone to start up my balloon business was so important to me. I used my phone to research prices and learn how to do balloon designs that I currently offer to my customers today. The internet speed was so good. Oh my gosh, there was no buffering and the videos were very clear. I am so grateful to Aliv for my new phone. Thanks Aliv. My name is Cara Knowles, owner of the Balloon Princess, and I believe in best.
Good morning. Hi, would you like to try our chunk noodles?
I only come in here for 2 items.
Okay, but it'll only take 1 second, and it's so delicious. Just 1 second.
Yeah, everything tastes delicious. Wow, it's really good. Where do I find it in the store?
Right this way. Let me do it. Okay. Thanks.
I'm glad to see you. Do the shuffle. It's been a while. Do the shuffle.
I can't do shuffle.
You know what? You need this.
What's that?
Junkanoo Juice Medley.
That's it. Give me some more.
Come on, yeah, that's it. Jamaica Bahama Imports. Always got it.
Come on down and get your Junkanoo juice today.
It's the market for the entire family. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Bahamian owned and operated, Sawyer's is known for the lowest prices on meats, produce, fresh fruits, and vegetables. Check them out on Facebook and the Freeport News to find out all of their weekly specials and their monthly blowout sales. Sawyer's Fresh Market. Your grocery bill just got lower.
Who said you can't get great quality products at an affordable price? If you want the best quality food products at the most affordable prices, you must pick up the Jamaica Bahama brand of fine quality products at your favorite food store. Products like Jamaica Bahama Coconut Water, the most healthy and refreshing drink on the market. Jamaica Bahama Fruit Punch, the only fruit punch in the Bahamas made from real fruit. Jamaica Bahama coconut milk, green pigeon peas with coconut milk, condensed milk, kidney beans with coconut milk, corned beef, green pigeon peas, mackerel, and corn. Jamaica Bahama's fine line of products is available at all your favorite food stores and convenience stores nationwide. Telephone 351-8282 in Freeport and 341-4091 in Nassau.
I don't wanna wait. No, I don't wanna wait.
Hello, I'm Wendell Jones, and every time I sit down and I watch JCN television, I drink the Jamaica Bahama food juice. It's so pleasing to the palate.
I've been cooking Bahamian dishes for generations. I now use Jamaica Bahamas product. The rice is very fluffy, very tasty, and good eating. Jamaica Bahama product is simply the best.
As an insurance agent, my life is go, go, go. But whenever I need a refreshing break, it's Jamaica Bahamas Island Mixed Fruit Drink. Good.
Hi, I'm Debbie Bartlett from Gems 105.9 FM. The effect that Island Junkanoo Juice medley has on me is exhilarating.